Now, before we send this back to Premiere Pro, it's a good idea to make sure that everything worked out. To do this, I like to mute my audio on the camera angles and just listen to the sync source. You can also mute most of the angles and just pick one that had good, clean audio, and this is pretty straightforward. You'll notice that each clip has its own volume slider. You can also just click right on the icon here to mute the track, or alternatively, you can simply alt-click on a track to solo it. And you see that that eliminates all the other tracks but that one. Let's go ahead and scroll up and have a listen here.
So I call it the 5 S's. You've got the sight of a wine, and by looking at the wine, you see the clarity. If it's a red wine,
Let's drag through to where she's talking.
And make the wine taste as good as they possibly can.
Absolutely.
That looks good. Let's check the next angle.
Its misconceptions is to throw a bottle of wine in a bucket of ice and have it as cold.
That looks good. Let's try the 2-shot.
Bit of cheese, and then finish that with another sip of the wine and marry the flavors together.
Okay.
That looks good. Let's just drag through to some more dialogue if we can see. This time I'll check for physical action. How about as he picks the wine bottle up? It looks like it clears the desk right there. That one's good. There's the wide shot. And it does seem to be in sync across the board. All right, let's go ahead and hide the viewer here. We've got everything aligned here. It seems good. I can go ahead and actually lower the volume of those as well. You see that you can adjust these if you wanted to manually mix a bit to try your different angles out. If a clip was marked red, well, that means that it didn't successfully sync, but we didn't have that problem with this project. If something doesn't synchronize, then when you send it back to your NLE, you'll need to adjust it there. There is one other useful option under the sync menu, and that is correct audio drift. Now, if you have some clips that seem to drift over time, maybe just to slight discrepancies in the recording, correcting audio drift can definitely help with that. All right, at this point, we're ready to send things back. We can do that back here under the File menu. We can save the project and then come back to it if we want, or we can choose the Export Timeline option. You'll also see that right here. When we click that, it gives us the ability to choose where it's going to go. Now, what you're going to do here is choose to actually create something here. In this case, an XML file. You can decide where that's going to go. It's going to put it in a default location here. And then you can decide to export. Now, this version of Pluralize I have is installed for Premiere Pro, but depending upon the versions you're using, or if you were on a platform like a Mac, you could actually choose a different output option. I'm going to make sure that it colorizes any clips that are not synced and puts those at the end. And go ahead and create a sequence here. There we go. And it's going to put the audio replacement in using the audio recorder. All right, this looks good. I'll click the export button and it saves that file. There it is. This is looking pretty clean here. Let's go ahead and do the handoff to Premiere Pro.